At the place where jewels abound, 15 rows down to the ground, in the middle of 21 from end to end, only 3 stand watch. As the sound of friends fills the afternoon hours, here is a sovereign people who build palaces to shelter. Their heads for a night, gnomes admire, fays delight, the namesake's meeting near this site. That is verse 2, and that verse is believed to go with image 7 or painting 7. This one, and this one is presumed to be in the city of New Orleans, and this is generally accepted against most threads online. You're not going to get too much disagreement that this is New Orleans right here. After all, he is holding or somebody's holding a mask, and we wear masks during Mardi Gras, and you have the checkerboard pattern, which is pretty festive, like the place where jewels abound. The first line in the verse. Oh, ice machine's going off. It distracted me. I believe at the place where jewels abound, 15 rows down to the ground is the second line. So those are our first 2 lines. I like to call them couplets because it's like what you call them in poetry, right? Couplets. Anyway, at the place where jewels abound, everybody and their grandmother likes to start up at the west end of New Orleans by City Park. It would be northwest of City Park. It's not in the main touristy area, which, has its pros and its cons, for sure. I see the attraction, I do. There's a whole bunch of streets over in the West End near Harley Quinn Park, and they all have gem names. Turquoise, moonstone, I don't know, I'm just making them up, but it's amethyst and pearl and topaz. Go look at it. It's cool, right? Bunch of gem name streets. So that's at the place where jewels abound. That's what some people like to take it as. Go for it. I like to start at the Mississippi waterfront moonwalk. I like to start at the moonwalk. That's where I like to say is at the place where jewels abound, because if you're looking at the water of the Mississippi in the sunlight, it sparkles like millions of tiny jewels. So that is super abstract, and I totally get why people don't agree with me there. But also, if you look at the painting, I believe at the place where jewels abound is the waterfront moon park. What on here looks like it could possibly be the waterfront moon park? The blue part with the moon on it with a bunch of stars that glitter like jewels. And it also happens to be kind of like, it's not it kind of is the shape of the waterfront. It's curved, right? Where the Mississippi is hecka curved, hella curved, as we say here in California. That's, if you're looking at the painting too, that's the most sparkly thing that would be in the painting are the stars and the moon. So, I don't know. That's my argument for the moonfront, waterfront, moonwalk. The Mississippi River, the water glitters like jewels. I get it. I know why people like the street names. It's real nice and easy. And that's why it's wrong. Just kidding. I mean, that's my, I don't know. Who's to say? I haven't found the box yet. 15 rows down to the ground. Now, if you're in the first group, you like to take 15 blocks over to City Park or something like that from around the West End, Harlequin Park area. If you're me and you're in the reasonable group of people, I'm just kidding. If you're in the other camp of people, uh, 15 rows down to the ground. So I think you start at the Mississippi waterfront. Well, where else do you go from the Mississippi waterfront? You aren't going to Algiers. I'm not going to Algiers during the secret tour to go. No, it's not in Algiers. You go north towards the historic district, the French Quarter. Duh. It's the French painting. You're going through the French Quarter by hook or by crook. It just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I know people say it's a loose immigration tie. Yes, that is true. That is totally true. But there's also some have more and other than others. I don't know. And it's also you're up to in your opinion. Like some people see more immigration connections than others do, and that's fine. Some people see more, some people it doesn't really matter. The point is, my theory is, you're progressing northwards from the waterfront park, the Moonwalk, and you are going to Jackson Square. Hello, if you're in New Orleans and you aren't going to see the Mississippi waterfront in Jackson Square, what are you doing? All right, get with the program. So 15 rows down to the ground, if you're at the Moonwalk plaque right there at the front and center, and there are stairs right behind you going down towards Jackson Square / St. Louis Cathedral. You'll hit St. Louis Cathedral before you actually hit the square. And why do we like that? Because it matches up with the painting perfectly. Just keep losing it. So, Moonwalk, right? We have the moon. And turquoise would be more or less where, well, this is the gem in the painting, right? The turquoise. That's more or less where St. Louis Cathedral would be. And this whole shape here is like Jackson Square, right? It's circular. We have the Jackson statue in the middle, and then we have a square shape surrounding it. So we're at the Moonwalk, 15 rows down to St. Louis Cathedral / Jackson Square. So 15 rows down to the ground. That's where your first two couplets are. It's pretty straightforward. At the place where Jules abound, Mississippi waterfront, 15 rows down to the ground, 15 steps down to Jackson Square / St. Louis Cathedral. You have to see those things if you're in New Orleans. What are you doing? Hello? So I don't know. That's just my opinion. That doesn't mean it's buried there. It just means they're checkpoints. They're way stations, right? And they're clearly referenced in the painting, I believe, at least. I feel like the paintings are sometimes even more helpful than the poems, because the paintings will have more in it, and the poems, you have to be the poems you can get a lot out of, but people don't like being that abstract with the poems. But maybe that helps. That's my theory. I like to be a little more forgiving and let multiple meanings lie and just kind of work with them, instead of being like, oh, I have to pick one meaning and stick with it. But at the end of the day, when you're picking a dig spot, you kind of do, but you have to see. I like to let all the evidence in, as they say, and then decide what I think. Anyhow, in the middle of 21 from end to end. Well, I thought this had two meanings because, like other people have said, there's many things that have 21 of something in New Orleans. Lots of buildings with 21 arches, 21 fence posts, 21 stones, tiles, pillars, what have you, houses, addresses. Maybe it's something different. Maybe that's the problem. It's none of those like literal markers we're thinking of. Maybe that's why we're wrong. But that's what I'm expecting in the middle of 21 from end to end. And I like St. Louis Cathedral because that's right where we are. In the middle of 21 from end to end. If you're looking at St. Louis Cathedral, there are 21 archways going across the two buildings on either side of it, including St. Louis Cathedral in the center. And the main building into the church would be in the middle of 21 from end to end. So I like that as St. Louis Cathedral. only 3 stand watch. This one just makes me think of a watch, like a watch you wear that tells time. And what is in the painting, there's no watch, but it's an entire clock, right? Only 3 stands watch. So in my mind, for some reason, it has to do with the clock. And 3 o'clock on the painting, you can see there's this weird little hand that's not usually on a clock. It's not even a seconds. Maybe it is a seconds hand, but it's pointed at 3. So, and you can also see 3 has like a little dark mark here that none of the other ones do. So only 3 stands watch. So watch, look at the clock. We notice the 3 is darkened. Only 3 stands watch. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, I think this is a good place to stop. Those are the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. I guess I should do the 6. No, don't do the 6 because that takes you into a whole nother avenue. But that's the first half of the verse, and you can see I think you're starting in the historic order, but I'm very abstract with this stuff. So I'll try and get the other half of this up soon. I just don't want to take too long in one video. You know, who has time to sit there for an hour? So anyway, yeah, let's continue analyzing the verse in the painting and see where I think it takes us, okay? Or just see where it takes you. Don't even listen to my idea. Just listen to what I say and see if it helps you. Alright, that's all I got for now. Thanks, y'all. Have a great afternoon. Bye.